Welcome back to the Lateral Move channel. I'm one of your hosts, Tony. I currently have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and I'm working towards a master's degree in clinical counseling and therapy with the hopes of becoming a licensed therapist sometime in the future. With this background info in mind, I have some interesting hot takes regarding therapy, how it's used, and who uses it. I believe that therapy is wildly over-recommended and overused by the general public. Why do I say that therapy is over-recommended? Therapy has a very specific purpose, helping you to overcome some sort of diagnosable disorder, disease, or condition that is adversely affecting your and/or others' lives. This could be anything from depression and anxiety to schizophrenia and Tourette's. There really is a very wide spectrum of reasons that one may need to go to therapy. When most people say something along the lines of, "Sounds like you need to go to therapy for," pick your reason, what they usually mean is that you have some sort of negative experience or presumed negative experience in your past that they believe haunts you or has negatively affected your life. These negative experiences can range anywhere from being disciplined as a child, to witnessing a car crash, to losing a pet, or wandering away from your mom in the supermarket for a few seconds. Why do I believe that this is not necessarily cause for therapy? Well, unless these experiences have caused yourself or others to believe that you have developed an actual disorder, therapy will not be any more beneficial for you than sitting down with a close friend or family member, or really anyone that you respect, and having a deep discussion surrounding your experiences. Too many people take these recommendations to heart and actually start going to therapy, which again is not necessarily a bad thing. Or they use WebMD to come to the same conclusion because they put in the most generic symptoms possible and found 3,400 possible disorders and diseases that they now believe they have or may have. A vast majority of these people will go to therapy and end up paying out the ass so that they can bitch and moan, essentially, to someone who will sit there and tell them whatever they want to hear just so that they keep coming back. Therapists even have clever ways to work around the insurance companies in these cases. Because of HIPAA, the therapist only needs to give so much information to the insurance company to justify your presence and charging the insurance company. So they'll put in something like, "You have an adjustment disorder," which could basically mean anything and everything, and it's exclusively for the purpose of justifying your case to the insurance companies, and then the insurance companies can't question it. As I said earlier, therapy is for those who have a diagnosable disorder, disease, or condition that is negatively affecting your life or the lives of those around you. So who actually needs it? If you were to be involved in a bad car accident and you now have such high anxiety that you're unable to even be around cars, or if you black out anytime you see a car accident on the side of the road, you may be suffering from PTSD, which is diagnosable and treatable, and you should go to therapy. If you have social anxiety to the point that you can't leave your house, regardless of the occasion, you should go to therapy. If you were beaten black and blue whenever Daddy came home smelling like his angry juice and didn't like the way you were sitting on the couch, and now you can only sit on certain furniture in a certain position, and you scream anytime anyone enters the room, you could probably benefit from therapy too. Therapy really only benefits those who suffer from a treatable condition that cannot be helped on their own or with the help of a trusted friend or colleague. People who could benefit from therapy may have tried recreational drugs or to brute force, for lack of a better term, their way through as a way to fix their problem, but this will only mask the problem at best, if not make it worse in the long run. Now that we know who actually needs therapy, what is the best way to use it? Therapy is not something you should do perpetually. Therapy is a tool with a very specific purpose. You are there to treat or work through a specific problem and build a skill set that helps you to live your life successfully. Now, building the skill set is not necessarily a fast process. It will probably take several sessions before any real progress can even be made, And then depending on your condition, it could take months to get to where you want to be. But months of help and support will be able to help you build a foundation and build the skill set to live a happy life. Once you have treated your condition, you really shouldn't need to go back. I may recommend periodic check-ins for a while after you're done, just to make sure you're heading in the right direction and everything is going well, but you can essentially call it quits as soon as you're done. Given my stance that most people don't need therapy, what are some good alternatives to therapy? While this may not be my first recommendation, it's probably the choice that most people would go with due to its similarities to therapy, and that's counseling. Counseling can be done by therapists and anyone with the same credentials, but it's not only for those who have diagnosable conditions. Counseling is a good option for those who want to feel like they've had therapy, and it can be beneficial to talk to a professional, but this is going to be expensive, essentially, so you can have someone sit there and listen to you. My personal recommendation for an alternative to therapy is twofold. One, if you're part of a religious community, talking to your pastor or minister or whatever your equivalent is would likely be the best option, especially if you have a pre-existing relationship with them. They will be able to provide you with an outside perspective that is based on the same moral foundations that you abide by. Most of the time, they will have dealt with similar situations in the past, and they have practical advice to go off of. And one of the best reasons to consider is that they will listen to you for free. You just need to have the time to meet them. Number two is if you're not religious or don't have any similar communities. If you have someone specific that you look up to, a mentor, a parent, coach, older coworker, etc., you should talk to them. They'll be able to provide an outside perspective, and you respect them, so you will be more willing to listen to what they say instead of just someone random. Plus, as they're someone you look up to and respect, they probably have more life experience to pull from. If all else fails, you should sit down with a close friend or two and talk about your problems. This option has both upsides and downsides. Upsides include being friends and seeing each other regularly already, having one or more perspectives, possibly having similar struggles, and already having that deep personal background on each other so that you can really best help each other. Downsides are that your friends may not have any experience working through these struggles. Depending on the age of your friends, you may or may not be more impulsive and emotionally driven, and they may unintentionally lead you down the wrong path despite their best efforts, just simply because they don't know any better. TLDR, finding someone you respect in your community that you share moral values with to talk to and help you work through your struggles is going to be a much better option for most people because you already have a pre-existing relationship with them, and that will help them to give you the best advice for you. This is also cheaper, if not completely free, except for time, of course, and more flexible than trying to go to a counselor or a therapist. I hope all of this makes sense because I'm passionate about trying to revamp the therapy industry. I firmly believe that the therapy industry has gotten so bloated and so out of control that they've expanded most of their definitions to make more people believe that they need to pay some exorbitant amount of money because they think something is wrong with them, rather than sticking with those in their community. I believe that this is predatory and takes advantage of tens or even hundreds of thousands of people every day who are just looking for guidance and help in life. There are better ways to go about it, and we should be actively promoting alternatives if they're going to help more people than therapy will, because helping people really is the goal here, isn't it? Thank you for watching this video. Please leave a comment if you think this information was helpful. Please like and share if you think we deserve it, and remember, therapy is a lateral move.